We are live. Welcome to the process. It is Tuesday, November 16th. I am Josh Engelman, and we're here to break down an easy one. 3-gamer, and I'm honestly not mad about it. Yesterday was a literal grind. We did rise and grind for 12 plus hours. I mean, you got to think about it. Like, we're live at 6:30. I'm also live at 6:30 p.m. I'm hitting both ends of the spectrum. Got to be awake till 10 at least for news. It's a long day. So we put in the grind yesterday. Didn't get me anywhere. That's the life of playing 150 max. But we're back again today to do it again. So before we do anything, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Please go check out Prize Picks, the presenting sponsor of this video. Use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up at Prize Picks. You will get a 100% instant match deposit bonus of up to $100. You put in 50, you get 50. You put in 100, you get 100. You put in 200, you still only get 100. We've got player prop tools on the website that will help you out tremendously at Prize Picks. Make sure you're doing it. Let me clear my throat. Ooh, I didn't think I was going to be DJ Clue at 6:34 a.m. yet here we are. Great to see everybody in chat. I hope somebody had some success yesterday, at least a little bit more than what I believe Adam and I did. I didn't have any quality DMs to wake up to from Adam yesterday with regards to anything good happening. I thought Dinwiddie was going to bust early. I did not have a lot of him. He turned out to be 54% owned yesterday and hit like a 95th percentile outcome, which is really tough to overcome. Honestly, I could have took a bigger beating and I wouldn't have been all that surprised. It is what it is. I built a little tool to look and see who really had like the best days yesterday. So we can take a look at that to start. Since we only have 3 games, we could talk a little bit more. But I want to try to do a little bit more of a recap each day, or at least if we can, you know, on a day where it's an 11 game, or like on a day like this where we have a 3-gamer, we can kind of do whatever we want. On the bigger slates, it might be a little bit more difficult, but I'll dial it in to just like hit on the guys that I was most over and under on and kind of what they did in general, not necessarily like I'm adjusting. We'll see it in a second. Here's what we'll do. Rise and grind for sure. Hit that like button for sure. Let's get a cheers out of the way. So I got my coffee and it's feeling pretty necessary today, if I'm going to be honest. Yesterday was a long one. I'll be able to get my sea legs back under me today with a little bit of an easier one. So cheers to everybody that's here to join me. Coffee, water, tea, beers, whatever you got on this lovely Tuesday morning. It's cheers to you. Yeah, that is delicious. Delicious. So let's transition it over. And just in case you didn't believe me before, Prize Picks is on the screen. Poke your head up. Use that promo code. Let's get some tunage on in the background. I'll explain what you guys are seeing right now. So here's what I did. And I threw this together this morning. I'm going to add more and clean everything up in a bit. But this is yesterday. Player name, no surprise. Salary, my expected minutes, and what I expected pregame from a fantasy point projection and my pregame standard deviation. And I have the actual minutes played, the actual live score, what I believe that value to be at 4.25x plus 15, my exposure, the public exposure, the difference between those two, and then the percentile of this person's score in relationship to themselves, adjusting for minutes. So, like if somebody goes for 50, but I had them projected for 20 minutes before the game and they played 34, I'm adjusting what I would have had my pregame projection to be if they played 34 minutes. So we can see, I want to know like who actually played over their head or under their head. If I miss by minutes, to me, that's a very different. People will evaluate projections based on like just the raw number. And I think that's fine. But I think you want to look at both pieces because the minutes piece is just as important as the actual fantasy piece to understand how right and wrong you really were. Maybe your minutes projections are terrible, but your fantasy point per minute rates are significantly more accurate. I mean, that's like, it's an extreme case, but that's possible. So I kind of want to know just like who played really well. So the first guy that I would want to look at that is like a decent example could be someone like RJ Hampton, who only played, I had him projected for 21 fantasy points in 24 minutes. He got those 21 fantasy points in 15 minutes, which is like pretty close to a 99th percentile outcome for RJ Hampton. You're not going to get all that much better for RJ Hampton in 15 minutes. But if we look at guys like, Clint Capella, full outlier game, 36 projected fantasy points in 31 minutes. He dropped 57. We're many degrees away from what we actually expected. Cade Cunningham, great game. Kristaps Porzingis. We do want to just sort of like sift through the garbage for it a little bit. So what I wanted to do is just look at my exposures. This is everything that I had heading into lock. So Lonzo was my most exposed play. He absolutely smashed. Couldn't ask for anything better here. I actually don't know how owned he was. That public number is just whatever we had projected. So that could be a little bit different. But that's a 94th percentile outcome. I guess I don't need the decimal there. That's not going to really solve anything. 93rd percentile outcome for Lonzo Ball. I gave him 35 minutes and projected 34 fantasy points. He actually played 38 and scored 49. I think that's fantastic. Cole Anthony, second most exposed play. I think he hit his boom. So any positive number in this live value column, I just got to rename them because I do keep live scoring as the day is going on. But I just copied this table over. Cole Anthony hit his boom. I had a ton, had an 80th percentile outcome. That'll work. Here's where I got a little dicey. Levine was average, I guess. Basically a little bit worse than average. 37th percentile outcome. Christian Wood had an absolutely dreadful day. You're not going to win anything with 18.6 fantasy points. I can make this even bigger, actually. Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about now. Now, that looks preposterous on my screen for me, but I'm sure that looks a lot better for you guys. Christian Wood, 18.6 fantasy points in 26 minutes. Truly dreadful. One of the worst plays of the day. Just hits a 1 percentile outcome in 40% of my lineups. Not great. Isaiah Stewart started strong. Ended up just sort of being pedestrian. Jokic, great. but still just a 66th percentile outcome for someone that dropped 66 real points. Tyler Hero came real close to his boom, looked good. Dwayne Dedman, I ended up being lighter on Hero and Dedman. I don't think it matters all that much. Dedman was fine in 29 minutes. Nothing too crazy. 27 fantasy points. That number's not actually correct. We'll dig into that later. Either way, I'm going to build this out, and we're going to have a recap each morning. So that is just the first peek at it. But now, we know what we need to do. Let's break this slate down. So, 3 games. First one up on the list here, and I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to watch it just because of obvious high-end talent. Golden State at Brooklyn. The Warriors are 2.5-point dogs, 220 total. Let's go ahead and get our minutes pulled up. And I think we look good here. What do we need to know about the Golden State Warriors and the Brooklyn Nets for today? No Clay, no Wiseman. We know this. So everything is fine for Golden State. On the Brooklyn end, no Joe Harris, which I think is pretty important. Figuring out who that's going to be won't probably be the most fun thing in the world. Everything else is pretty normal. Nick Claxton's still out, but that's fine. So let's start on the Golden State side. And probably not too much we need to change here. The problem with Golden State is they are not a team you want to have on a 3-gamer because they have 7 different guys in the rotation that could actually play the 20-something minutes that you're really looking for. So I got Steph in for 35. To me, that seems reasonable. I got Draymond in for 32. That seems reasonable. 33 is probably not the craziest scenario. Kevon Looney has been playing a little bit more as of late. I want to give him a little bit of a bump. So we're going to get him up to 20. And then I'm going to take out everyone else's minutes for right now, since we clearly have enough time. And I'm going to reproject this rotation, considering every single minute is so much more important on a 3-game slate than it is on an 11-game slate. Because on an 11-game slate, 6 guys in the rotation are completely meaningless no matter what you give them in terms of a difference. So, it's not worth quibbling over 10 or 14 for someone like Nemanja Bjelica on an 11-gamer. It doesn't matter what I do there. I'm not going to get that guy anyway. On a day like today, where you can get someone at that margin, where you get to that 17 or 18 range, every one of those minutes is going to change the slate in a pretty significant way. So I want to make sure that we're most right on a slate like this. So Warriors played on Sunday. They played an 11-man rotation. Damian Lee got back into it. Juan Toscano-Anderson was out of it. Good to know. So we're going to say Jordan Poole here as the backup. He has played about 31 minutes over the past stretch. I'm going to go to 31. And then we want to hit the rest of the guys that matter most. Wiggins would be there. I think 31 minutes for him also looks pretty good. After that, this is where it gets the most interesting, at least to me. Iggy in his 4 games back since, I don't know if that was a rest or injury, 4 games in the past week, he's averaged 21.9 fantasy points. I'm going to give him 21 at the 4. We've got Kevon Looney and we've got Draymond in. Oh, I got to give Draymond those other 4. Take him to 32. He's playing 32 in a competitive game against Brooklyn. That's just happening. I honestly think I should probably have him at 33 or 34, but we'll cross that bridge. All right, 3 straight games from Otto Porter at 15 minutes. That seems to me like the easiest mechanism. We're going to give him those 15. I think 15 for someone like Gary Payton is probably correct. Maybe 16. So we're slowly chipping away. Bielitsa, I don't know, 14. He's kind of all over the map. Let's go. Yeah, let's go 14. So we've got 25 minutes left over. We need 2 more guys. We're going to say that it's going to be Kuminga and Damian Lee. So I'm going to give Damian Lee 16, and I'm going to give Kuminga 9. And that finishes my rotation. X40, I believe he's probable. I will double check it, though. But I'm pretty sure he's probable. Yep, probable. So, no worries there. From a rate perspective, we know that we can dig in because we have the time. It's always better. So let's pull up Wowie. And since we have everybody in, like, if Gary Payton doesn't play, then Moses Moody plays 15 minutes. That's the real problem here with the Warriors. It doesn't matter if anybody gets ruled out like that. All right, so for Curry, I have no rates to change. He kind of transcends this. He breaks things because he's too good. Jordan Poole, usage looks fine. Wiggins, usage looks tad low. We'll bump that up a bit. Draymond, assist rate seems fine. Rebounding rate seems fine. It doesn't make anybody else pop, that's for sure. Damian Lee, usage bump. Maybe the only thing that I need to do. Doesn't change anything. Kevon Looney, usage bump. Doesn't really change anything. But that's Golden State. We'll see what they look like when we start running crunches. Let's check the Brooklyn side. Now, Brooklyn's going to have... This is going to be interesting because we're losing 30-plus minutes from Joe Harris. That's going to open something up. And I'm guessing we are going to see some pretty interesting value on Brooklyn for the first time in a while. So let's look at that last game from Sunday and see if we notice any changes from Brooklyn. And I doubt we will because they played stupid Oklahoma City. So Joe Harris went down here in the second quarter, didn't come back. Patty Mills got the start over or in place of Joe Harris in the second half. I don't necessarily think that has to happen, but that is the assumption that I'm going to go with here. So I think maybe 30 minutes to Patty Mills is where we're going to end up. 20, maybe 29. No, 30 feels about right. We'll go 30. James Harden for 18 and 18. That gets him to 36. I'm taking out everybody else's minutes except for Durant and Harden now, because clearly those guys are playing 36 minutes today. And now we'll hash out the rest of it. So Patty Mills gets to his 30. Seems fine. Do I really not get to Patty Mills like that? Oh, I see why. That makes sense. I need more guys projected in. Blake is pretty firm in that like 23, 24 range. And then Aldridge is playing 22 minutes almost exclusively. We can say that KD will play 2 minutes at the 5. Chat, is Adam Young telling the truth? Is my mic skipping? If it is, I'll try to fix it. Also hit that like button. All right, the 4 minutes. Appreciate you, X-Wody. Jamar. All right, Adam Young. That one's on you, man. Crystal clear. Adam, sorry. Good luck. Good luck to you. All right, who? Again, since we have time, I'm feeling like I want to poke around a bit. Who is the who gets modeled into the 4 most on Brooklyn? You might just need to refresh the stream, Adam. I think we had that issue like a week or 2 ago. I know it's mostly Durant, but like, who the hell else is the 4? Especially when we know there's no Clax, and let's say there's no Joe Harris, and really make this interesting. I should start talking like I'm skipping. That really get people. So Millsap plays a lot of 4. And then Bruce Brown over everybody else. Okay, good to know. Paul Millsap, DNP in the last one. James Johnson played. Sure. Let's give James Johnson those minutes. We're going to go 12. And then Bruce Brown is just going to continue. See, here's the problem. These minutes where like Bruce Brown only plays 22. I'm going to go to 28, and that's probably going to ruin me. It's not too bad. Adam, good to know, man. Good to know. So we got Bruce Brown's minutes in. We got to get DeAndre Bembry's minutes in. And we got to get Javon Carter's minutes in. So we're going to assume Javon Carter plays like 22. And I'm going to assume DeAndre Bembry plays 18 or 19, just for right now. Let's maybe do, or maybe 20. That's a 9-man rotation, which is basically what they were playing. And they have been playing a 10-man rotation. So the question then becomes, does Millsap get back in the rotation for 10 minutes? And to me, it seems like yes. They could just play DeAndre Bembry more minutes. They could just play Javon Carter slightly more minutes. I think they probably just play Millsap. Or any other random guy on this team. I'm going to give the 10 minutes to Millsap. And then do something like this. All right, so we need to move 8 minutes. 8 is 14. Oh, I'm doing that backwards. There we go. So that's Brooklyn. I wonder if the rates change at all with no Joe Harris, because obviously he doesn't use a ton of possessions. I wonder what it looks like when he's not on the floor. What, Millsap's out? I didn't even see it when I looked at the injury report. Oh, out, personal reasons. Yeah, for some reason I just missed that looking at the Brooklyn lists. Okay, well that makes it a lot easier. This is another one of those examples where those 10 minutes probably do not matter. They do matter in the sense that, like, DeAndre Bembry could get more time. Yeah, he's on the injury report, guys. Appreciate you. I don't know how I missed that when I pulled it up. Did I miss? Was it even marked on the depth chart? Oh, it was. Okay, that's just on me. Then Day'Ron Sharpe's gonna play 10 minutes. This doesn't change anything really. We'll give those 10 minutes to Sharpe, at least for right now. No, that's not true. He is absolutely 100% in my projections. I know that I did it. All right, I gave him the... I forgot I fixed him. So now we're in. Day'Ron Sharpe. Bang. Yeah, Rudy Gobert out. Heel. That's a good one. I think that's fine. Do the rates change? So we got Joe Harris off. Durant, normal usage rate in that time. James Harden, normal-ish usage rate in that time. Assist rate down a little bit for Harden, but nothing too crazy. Durant, really no changes. LaMarcus Aldridge, really no change. He's just getting buckets. Bruce Brown, really no change. So nothing changes for this team. Pace changes a little bit, but nothing too wild. So let's look at this game now. We've got Golden State, and they don't look good. What are my thoughts on the Bulls defense now? It's still not good. Facing one of the worst offenses in basketball doesn't really make me think that they're a good defense. They got a good defensive coach, but they don't have the personnel. They're actually, to be fair, they're going to be a better defense with Tony Bradley out there than they are with Vooch, but they haven't been so far. That's just not a long-term thing. I don't care what the stats say. They won't rank where they are right now at the end. They just can't. Curry for 10-8 on FanDuel, 10-9 on DraftKings, obviously fine. Draymond fine, Jordan Poole fine. None of the backups for Golden State look good right now, so I'm curious to see who actually shows up, but I don't recommend really anything. Yeah, the Lakers aren't good. If LeBron James is playing and Kendrick Nunn is healthy and Malik, or if all of the guys that are out are healthy, they start to look a little bit better. They're not right now. Brooklyn. Yeah, so obviously Harden and Durant. And I think that I like Harden and Durant more than I like Steph. After that, Patty Mills is not the value play I expected him to be, at least on FanDuel. He is a bit more on DraftKings, but when push comes to shove, Patty Mills isn't good at DFS. 0.72 fantasy points per minute as my baseline. 0.68 just for this game. By the way, 136 viewers, 71 likes. Let's bump that up. Let's try to get to 100 by 7 a.m. I don't think that Patty Mills is as good of a play as we all thought he was going to be. Yeah, so Cantor, I'm with you there. He's ranking really high on dunks and threes right now. Now, look at this look at the EPM on DeMar. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 8th in basketball in EPM right now, and 4th in expected wins. DeMar is just on one so far this season. I don't necessarily know that he's going to continue to shoot 37% from 3, but if DeMar DeRozan's going to have 61% true shooting, he's going to be a problem. I don't believe that he's suddenly become a plus defender, but offensively, this has been an incredible start for DeMar. I had no idea it was this good. I just assumed like they were clicking and it was efficient. I didn't realize he had been that efficient. Now, I don't expect that to hold, but it's been way better than I ever expected. Now, Nikola Jokic is breaking basketball, which is really fun to see. He has been unquestionably the MVP. All right. Yeah, so look, Patty Mills is going to get a lot of ownership. I don't think so far. Like, I'm curious to see where it actually shows up when we run the Sims. I don't think he's as good of a play as it just naturally seems. It's good, but he's not good. And that's the tricky part for it all. He doesn't have to really do a ton here. And it wouldn't even surprise me if someone like Javon Carter ended up with a little bit more playing time today than someone like Mills, just because of the matchup. Just getting out there for a little bit more defensive purposes. It's also, I don't think it'd be crazy for it to be Bembry either. Which actually makes me want to give slightly more time to Bembry and Carter in lieu of Day'Ron Sharpe. if I go 6 minutes here, 2 more minutes to Bembry and 2 more minutes to Carter, that's going to make both of those guys be a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I want to do that. I want those guys to show up. But the best plays in this game are for sure Harden, Durant, and Curry, which isn't really helpful from a lineup construction perspective. 701, 81 likes. We're through the first game. Let's keep it moving now. We'll go to Philly and Utah. And I know Philly's got a bunch of random nonsense going on, so let's figure out who's actually available for the 76ers. On the Philly side, no Danny Green, no Joel Embiid, no Simmons or Thibault, so we know we have Tobias Harris back. Then on the Utah side, Rudy Gay is still out. So we've had Tobias Harris back for 2 games. That's vacation for you. I'm going to scratch this entire rotation because I don't even know what's in there right now. And let's reproject Philly from scratch. So basically, whatever they had for these past 2 games is the same thing they have now. That helps me out tremendously. Tyrese Maxey's playing 38 minutes at least today. He's played an average of 41 over the past 7 games. I have a hard time going higher than 38, but I might actually have to go to 39. 38 feels the most reasonable, though. I don't know what his salary is, but that'll be the most fun part here. All right, Drummond, 31 minutes seems about right. Nothing crazy there. We get at least a rotation to Paul Reed. Something maybe like 12 minutes should be fine there. And then we'll give the rest of that run to George Niang. And then he'll probably get up to like 23 minutes. 24 minutes. Okay, that works. Shake his minutes about 20 a game. Pretty calm, cool, and collected there. We'll give him 22 on a day like today. We're going to give Tobias Harris his standard issue 36 now that he's back. Played 35 and 37, so I don't know why you wouldn't play 36 in a competitive matchup. Alrighty. Seth Curry, 34, right? Makes the most sense. Needs something that gets him in a lineup. Danny Green, 20. Is Danny Green out? Did I miss that? Yes, Danny Green is out. Left hamstring injury. Okay, so no Danny Green. All right, so who are we missing? Isaiah Joe. Oh, Korkmaz. So we got to get Korkmaz probably 30 minutes in this case now that Danny Green is out. Korkmaz. So Maxey, Harris, Curry, Drummond would be the starting 4. Okay, so I would imagine Korkmaz is going to start here and play 30 minutes. Yeah. That leaves me 13 minutes for probably Isaiah Joe. Seems like he would be the first guy to step into those minutes. I think that makes some sense. Surely Charles Bassey could get a rotation here. Shake could fall into a little bit more playing time. I don't think there's enough guys out for that to happen. But maybe. It's not something I want to go to right now. I think it's easier to go to Isaiah Joe. So those minutes all look fine. I definitely don't have any idea what the rates should be. I need to do something with Harris on, which this isn't going to be the biggest sample in the world. Definitely need to take Simmons and Embiid off, and we'll see if we need to move into an older, move into last year's rates as well. Ooh, watch is charged. Let's put that back on. Boom. All right. Tobias Harris, with none of the other guys on, in 99 minutes this year has a 33% usage rate. I think I need to just go back to last year and really make sure I know the cross section. God's helpers, good morning. Good morning to everybody that's here. All right, Tobias Harris. This year and last year, no Embiid, no Simmons, 31% usage rate. So I'm taking that up to 30. I don't know why I wouldn't. Tyrese Maxey sees a pretty sizable bump in usage as well. Goes to 24. I'm just going to go to 22. I don't want him to go crazy. Everything else looks fine there from a rates perspective. Shake also gets the big time usage bump. So we're going to go to 25. That should let everybody else fall into place. Although Curry, I do need to bump up as well. So let's take Curry up to 20. And then Korkmaz to 20. Drummond to 19. And now I don't care if Paul Reed shoots. I don't care. Because like what we really want to do is say, what happens when Tobias Harris is on the floor? Because he's going to, in my opinion, he plays 75% of this game. So that's fine for 25. Maxey at 22. That seems fine if they stagger these guys at all. Let's go 21.5. Korkmaz actually, with Tobias Harris on, does not shoot as much. So I'm going to go down to 19 if he's starting. Actually, yeah, 19 works. Now, 18.5. Curry works at 20. So I think we're fine here. Niang's usage rate goes down quite a bit. Andre Drummond's does go down quite a bit. Isaiah Joe, I assume, doesn't participate offensively. Paul Reed, no. So now we're where we need to be. So let's look at this entire game. Nope, I didn't do Utah. Let's look at Utah. And I hope that the last game I did for Utah was a full strength matchup, but I feel like it wasn't. No, it was. Good. Last thing I want to do is actually care about Utah's rotation. Let's just give it the slightest tweak if we need to. Mike Conley, 31 minutes. I'll take that down to 30. Go 16 and 18 here for these characters. 34 for Donovan Mitchell. I'm okay with that. 33 for Gobert. I'm okay with that. Hassan Whiteside, backup center run. Cool. Jordan Clarkson, 24. Fine. Royce O'Neal, 30. That number can go up. Bang. 26 for Ingles. Might actually be a little high, but it'll be fine. Pascal, fine. All right, so everything else for Utah is fine. No surprises. Philly will look interesting. Philly, Tobias Harris, 7,700 on FanDuel. Not even probably. He's the best play I've seen so far. That's the best play of the day that I've seen. Tyrese Maxey for 7,200 on DraftKings is not all that far behind. Even Tobias for 8,500 on DraftKings also works. Drummond is a solid point per dollar option at 85 and 8,700. Like that work, his projection works. Seth Curry is a struggle, but fine. Korkmaz look a lot better on DK at 4,600 than he does on FanDuel at 52. For Utah, Kim, good to see you. Yeah, everybody. 177 viewers, 90 likes. 10 more to hit the mark. No reason we're not there yet. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert both look really good here. Mitchell, 8,800 on FanDuel looks fine. 8,600 on DraftKings looks even better. Gobert, 8,300 on FanDuel. 7,700 on DraftKings. I like them both. Mike Conley would be my third favorite option from the Jazz. Now let's close this out. Final game. San Antonio Spurs taking on the LA Clippers. For the Spurs, no Jakob Poeltl still. Everything else is normal. For the Clippers, Still no Marcus Morris, no Kawhi, Serge Ibaka out. Basically business as usual with a Q tag on Terrence Mann. We'll read about Terrence Mann in a second. Let's knock out the Spurs, which should not be all that difficult of a task. Do we stay off Harden and Steph on this slate? William, why in the world would you do that? It's a 3-game slate. All right, 34 minutes for DeJounte. Yes. 32 for Keldon. I can probably go a little bit higher. Keita Bates-Diop not really playing. So that's that. We'll do... Need to switch that to San Antonio. 24 minutes for Thad. Sure. 22 minutes for Eubanks. Sure. We've got Keldon Johnson in for his 34. We'll see what we do with Keita Bates-Diop and Bryn Forbes minutes. Devin Vassell has played 30 his past 2. I'm going to give him 2 more. I'm going to give him 1 more. We got Derek White in for 32. That's probably too many. Take him down to 31. I got Lonnie Walker in for 26. Who played more? Where'd these minutes go? McBuckets? McBuckets gets one? Yep. I think we're about right here. We'll close it out with the Clippers. And I assume everybody that I have in here is just in. Which is correct. So, not too much we need to mess with the Clippers. Let me just look at what the Terrence Mann blurb is. I want to know if that's crazy if he plays. Tweaked ankle, not serious. Done. So, Justice Winslow didn't play on Sunday on the back-to-back. I'm going to assume that he does play today. I got Zubats in for 27 minutes. Probably high. We'll go to 26. We'll take Hartenstein to 18. Probably. That's fine. Eric Bledsoe, 28 minutes. I think that needs to go up. Reggie Jackson, 35. I think that can stay. 30 for Terrence Mann, I think can stay. Luke Kennard for 27. I want to take 1 minute away from him and give that to Bledsoe. I got Paul George in for 36. I got Nick Batum in for 29. There's just really not a lot of minutes left for these guys. I think this is just... The problem here is that Zubats can play, or Batum can play 30 plus minutes in a close game. And has lately. So I'm going to... I don't really trust Zubats' minutes right now, particularly against San Antonio. So I am going to give an extra minute to Batum. Maybe 2 extra minutes to Batum. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Reggie Jackson is popping pretty aggressively. Don't totally know why. Do something like that. Close that window off. We're going to be running some crunches shortly. San Antonio Spurs. And we got our 100 likes, so I appreciate you guys. Derek White on FanDuel at 5,200 right now is my favorite option. That's not exciting. Do I need to change his usage rate? Because if he's not getting staggered, I think that matters. Derek White. It's not this year. Let's take Trey Jones off. 16% usage rate so far. I'm going to knock that down a little bit. Yeah, that'll soften that a bit. Keldon Johnson's is still at 23. That's fine. DeJounte's at 24. That's fine. Lonnie Walker's at 21. That's fine. All right, so we're okay there. Still like Derek White, just a little bit softer on FanDuel now than it was. 6K Keldon Johnson on DraftKings is probably... By the way, Derek White being awful so far, you guys got to understand what we're talking about here. Normally, a .94 guy. This season, .89. I've got him projected at .91. Your awful thoughts on Derek White are incorrect, chat. Incorrect. He has been exactly what he's always been from a fantasy perspective. We want to talk about him as an actual basketball player. Very different discussion, but I don't expect Derek White to continue to maintain a 47% true shooting. All right, X-Wody, you're also not correct either. He's just been himself, just shooting worse. Lots of little pieces from San Antonio, like little bits of boom everywhere is not fun. On the Clippers side, I think Paul George looks good on both sides in the 10Ks. I think all the pay-up options look relatively similar. $6,100 Reggie Jackson looks pretty good on DraftKings. Terrence Mann, 4,500 and 4,700. Probably have him over-projected a skosh. Let's just see if I got his rates too high. Terrence Mann, 14% usage rate. Yeah, let's knock that back a hair. A little high there. Is the usage going anywhere else? Reggie Jackson, 23. I'm just going to get him even more. Can't bump that up. So I think what we have in right now is good to go. And if we're just talking Clippers in general, the Clippers on DraftKings might be the most popular team because they've got eight legitimate guys to roster. Their salaries are all down. Let's run a crunch. Let's see where we stand. Alrighty. Bring that in here. First one up. FanDuel Optimal. It's a fun slate, it looks like. I don't think we have too much to worry about either. Just starters. All right, FanDuel Optimal by 0.4 of a point. Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Jordan Poole, Derek White, Paul George, Terrence Mann, Tobias Harris, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Rudy Gobert. Okay. That's definitely an outcome. Doesn't exactly look like a dream lineup. I'm not going to lie. But you got plenty of time. You drop down those 0.4 of a point. You swap Jordan Poole for Reggie Jackson. And you swap Terrence Mann for Blake. Not great to start. DraftKings, I think, will look a little cleaner. FanDuel, not fun. All right, I might have to tweak out Terrence Mann here a little bit more. I mean, 0.83, is he just not going to play 30 minutes? I got to take one of these Terrence Mann minutes away. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Who needs it most? Is it Bledsoe? It is. Okay, so I'm going to rerun this just to see if it changes. I want to take one of those minutes away from Terrence Mann because I don't think he should be the second best play on the slate today. Let's see if that changes the optimal at all. Turn that randomness back off. Nope. Okay, so if we do make that Terrence Mann change, we bump up that Blake Griffin lineup that we looked at first, which makes sense. Now let's look at the power rankings. I can't be getting Terrence Mann second. That's not going to work for me. Not that I don't think we should be getting Terrence Mann. He was a little bit too high there. Tobias Harris, as I'm not surprised at all, given his price tag. Very clearly the number one play today. Don't think it's really all that close at 7,700. Just dropped 32 and 11 at that price tag. If he hangs, what are we looking for here? If we just say 5x plus 10 as a quick ref estimate, that's 48. Yeah. He hits 46, you're going to need him today. So Tobias Harris, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Reggie Jackson, Derek White, Paul George, Keldon Johnson, Rudy Gobert, Terrence Mann, Isaiah Hartenstein, Draymond Green, James Harden, Mike Conley, Blake Griffin. That's where we're at right now. You'll note Patty Mills, for me at least, not all that highly ranked. Not on FanDuel, at least. Let's look at DraftKings. So Steph is so rarely like super optimal for me, especially on a day where he's going to be one, the most expensive player on the slate, two, only have point guard eligibility. That's going to just hamper him a lot. I don't think the difference between Harden and Steph today are all that different, and you can roster Harden for $600 less and at shooting guard. So, I mean, look, like, he showed up in 24% of the crunches. That's just behind Harden. But if you're asking me to pick between Curry and Durant, like, it's got to be Durant, right? I don't know how else you would do it. I've been muted the whole time. My bad. Well, at least you guys got the music. I was just talking about what we've got in these optimals. Mills, Mitchell, Batum, Keldon Johnson, Rudy Gobert. I burped before I hit the mute button. I guess I never unmuted. Patty Mills, Donovan Mitchell, Nick Batum, Keldon Johnson, Rudy Gobert, Bledsoe, Paul George, Isaiah Hartenstein. Whoops on the mute. Same projection for lineup number one and lineup number two. You just swap out Patty Mills for Lonnie Walker and Paul George for Kevin Durant. Let's look at the power rankings now on DraftKings. Nope, that's not it. Let's turn that rando on. Boom. Okay. Oh, yeah, less Steph on DraftKings, actually. Maybe it's not so crazy. All right. Power rankings on DraftKings. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Keldon Johnson, Reggie Jackson, Kevin Durant, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Nick Batum, Hartenstein, James Harden, Draymond Green, Tobias Harris, Terrence Mann, Eric Bledsoe. That's where we're at. And Theodore, it is absolutely Mobley's fault. He was terrible before he tweaked his elbow. I hope that does not happen, Cantor. I like this slate a lot more on DraftKings today than I do on FanDuel. FanDuel's a mess. But I think we're done here. I don't really have anything else that I want to add. Highest boom for me on FanDuel is Tobias Harris. Goal score 47.7. So, highest booms on DraftKings, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. Keldon Johnson not too far behind. It's a weird slate. It really is, but I like it. What time are these games? So I know 7:30. Okay, so 7:30 lock, and then dueling late night hammers. That's not the kind of night I'm looking for, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, but we'll be all right. I think that's it. I don't really have anything else I need to touch on here on this 3-gamer. So, on that note, let's pack it in. That ain't the one. That's the one. Guys, thanks for being here. Strategy show at 10 o'clock with Adam. I'm going to do the contenders videos in a minute. Crank those out quickly. What else we got going on? Keep your eyes peeled for an additional piece of content that isn't mine that I will be a part of. I'm not going to say anything right now because I don't know if I'm supposed to or not. But I'm popping up somewhere else today. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know when it comes out. And that's probably it. No lie before lock or deeper dive for me. So when I'm done the strategy show with Adam, that's it. Keep your eyes peeled to my Twitter. At Josh Engelman is what you're looking for. That is where you can get the updates to my sims as we get closer to lock. This one should be pretty easy. We're probably not going to be getting all that much news in that 6:30 to 7:30 window. Really, the only thing that we need is the Brooklyn starting lineup. Otherwise, I think most of this is going to be pretty cut and dry. So, thank you for joining me. Please hit the like button on the way out the door. Win some money. Good luck. Tomorrow, we're back with a what size slate? What do we got tomorrow? NBA. I think it's 11 again, which is annoying. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, so 11 tomorrow. 6-game slate on Thursday that locks at 7:30. Sign me up for that bad boy. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 9-gamer on Friday. And I'm on live before lock that Friday. So rest of the week looks pretty good other than tomorrow, but we'll be fine. So, bye.